Thanks so much for joining, everybody. My name is Robert Gabriel. This is my contact information. I'm President and CEO of Microwise Technology. And I also have Kim Vargas with us and Rosemary Bright. Rosemary is from Verzetta, and she's going to do a quick presentation of how Verzetta can help your practice. Disclaimer, anything you learn in this seminar, you need to give us any damage for your data or legal issues, especially for today, because we're going to talk about ChatGPT. So the agenda today, we're going to talk about ChatGPT, and we're also going to talk about the integration between Verzetta and Microsoft Enlightek. Today, we have a general session. It's not branded for just Microsoft user. We have also Enlightek users with us today. So ChatGPT, let's use your vote buttons. Let's ask you the first question. Have you heard about the AI, artificial intelligence, ChatGPT, which is the one that I use? Just give me a yes or no, just type in your chat. I just want to know if you guys heard of it before. All right, so I'm getting yeses today, which is different from a few months ago. Now, tell me if you, the ones that answered yes, tell me if you have used it before. All right, so I'm getting no's. All right. So it's just a couple of housekeeping items. Of course, this seminar is being recorded just like any other seminars we do, and it will be made public. Also, if you connect it with the audio, if you have a question, we don't have a very big seminar today, so you can unmute yourself and ask the question. I love when people ask the questions themselves. I'm going to show you ChatGPT, and this is me personally, how I use it, or some of the ideas that I have for using it. I am not telling you this is how you should run your business. I am not a lawyer. I am not an expert in AI. This is how I use it, and this is how I see some people can get help. Any help that you get, you need to verify yourself. You know, this is a very gray topic now for ethic, how to use the ChatGPT or artificial intelligence, legality. I don't know. I'm using ChatGPT as an assistant, and I make my own decision if this is something I want to pursue with it or publish it or use it or not. So I came up with points here where I use, me personally, where I use ChatGPT. So number one is I use it for writing letters. So I'm trying to come up with an idea how to use the ChatGPT in your medical practice, if you're a billing company or if you're a back office person that you want to use it. So first is ChatGPT otherwise has no link to ChatGPT. We don't resell it. We don't support it, but ChatGPT is, I believe it's backed up by Microsoft. So first, there's two versions of ChatGPT. There's a free version and there's a paid version. So I'm going to log in and I pay for ChatGPT, so I'm going to log in to my paid version, and you can chat. So with the paid version, you have the old version, which is the 3.0, 3.5, and the 4.0. The 4.0 is a beta, and you're allowed up to 25 messages every 3 hours. So ChatGPT, the beauty about it is you can ask a question, then you can have a follow-up update. It's almost like you're talking to somebody, an expert on your side. Can you imagine if you're talking to your lawyer, or if you're a patient talking to your doctor, and you ask a question or you give an answer, but there's a follow-up to it, or there might be a few follow-up based on how you answer that. So I'm just going to show you something very simple here. I'm going to ask ChatGPT to write me an appeal letter to Medicare on a behalf of my practice for a rejection or a denial. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to come here and I'm going to paste my question here. Okay, I don't know about you, but this is very impressive. Now, I didn't give it a lot of details. I can be more specific, and the more specific, the more details you're going to get. And I can follow up with a follow-up question. For example, I can ask, and I can say things like, okay, so now by me, it's almost like you talking to an assistant, and the assistant is going to involve the same letter that you use now. It included the ICD-10 for me. Now, I am not sure I'm not a coder. I am not a doctor. I'm just using the information to the best of my knowledge. And you need to verify yourself if this is a legit code, if this is something you've done. But this is just an example of how to use ChatGPT as an assistant if I was in your place. Now, once you finish with what you just did, ChatGPT gives it a title. So you can go back and look at the title. So you can navigate between each chat, and you can go to a previous chat and ask a follow-up question, or you can click on the chat and ask a new question. So I'm going to go back to my letter here, and the next one, or my points, and the next one I'm asking it to write me a HIPAA associate agreements between MicroWise and Happy Medical Practice, and then I just made up a fake address. So now I'm going to go here, so I don't have to type it, as you saw that I hate typing. So I'm going to use ChatGPT 4 again, and I'm going to go back here, and I'm going to paste that question, and I'm going to. Now, of course, be careful when you are using it for medical assistant. You want to make sure that you don't reveal any confidential information like patient social security number or real date of birth or address of the patient. I always use, fake information. Then I can take it and modify the information, because I don't know the information that I'm sending, who has access to that, and if I'm violating HIPAA or not. So you be careful when you are typing or getting assistance from ChatGPT is what information you're giving out and who has access to it, because we don't know yet who has access to it and who's not. So this is my second example. Use it for like a contract. Maybe you can use it for something. You're leasing a room in your office to somebody else. You can write a contract or anything like that. So you can use it as a medical lawyer advice here. And it's not a lawyer, but it can help you with writing things like that. Another idea to use it for is social media or marketing in general. You can have it to write you an article or write you a post on social media. So I'm going to use it to write me a post. So let's pretend I'm doing Botox treatments and I wanted to write a social media post for my practice. So again, I'm going to go here, go to new chat, and I'll use the 3.5. I don't know exactly the difference, but 4.0, of course, is the newest version. And I think they're both very good. So because I told it it's a social media, it's given me all the emojis and stuff like that. You can just tell it to not to put the emojis, but it's write me an article that I can post on social media for my practice for whatever treatment you're allowed to. Some treatment you're not allowed to actually post on your social media, but Botox, I know it's not one of those probably things you're not allowed to talk about. So this is just an example. Now I can say it, can you make it 100 words? So I don't need to explain myself again. It shrunk my post to 100 words. And if you don't like it, you can say regenerate. So it gives you options by giving you like another version. Then you can navigate between the versions. Here, this is the version 1 of 2, and this is version 2 of 2. Or if I tell it to regenerate again, it's going to give me a version 3. Then I'm going to use something similar. I want to write a newspaper or magazine article acting as if I was a provider. Now, you need to verify this yourself. If you're going to use this in your practice, don't say Robert said I can use it. Nobody knows yet where the lawyers is going to get involved here. Now, let's see if I have other examples. The other example that I have, which is very controversial, I'm going to take a medical note, and it's a fake medical note, of course, and I'm going to ask it to give me the CPT and diagnosis for this medical note. So I'm going to come up here. And let me use version 4 for this, and I'm going to paste the medical note. And this is my prompt. Using the above medical note, give me a suggestion for including CPT diagnosis and modifier. Now you can follow up by something like this, where it says, I want to make sure. So the AI makes up information if you don't tell it to prompt you for questions. And look how many questions it asks me, because it makes assumptions. So if you want to make sure that the AI is understanding what you're trying to do, you can prompt it with something like that. And I usually also like to do it like this, where I says, ask me one. So this way, it's going to ask me one question, waits for the answer, then it will ask me the next question. So this way, you don't have to answer all those questions. And sometimes the questions that they ask you, it will change based on the answer that you provide. So this is new to all of us. We don't know how we're going to use it. We don't know how software companies, we're scratching our head, how we're going to integrate this to everyday's life software that we're using, and where it's legal, where it's not, how we're all going to use this. So we all new at this. I figure I want to share this with you. I think it's excitement to the whole world of where AI can help us. Hopefully, it's not going to replace too many jobs. It's going to help us become more efficient. And instead of doing hours and hours of researching, it can actually do a lot of the work for us. It's our decision at the end if we're going to use it or not. All right. Without any further ado, I'm going to introduce Rosemary. Rosemary is going to introduce to you the Vuzeta, which is a product that was developed by me and MicroWise. It's going to help your practice. So Rosemary, the floor is yours.
You see my screen? Yay, awesome. Good afternoon, everyone. Robert, thanks again for welcoming me to the user group and for your demonstration today on ChatGPT. You know, it just never gets old around here. I always learn something new when I see you demo ChatGPT. So I want to say thank you to everybody for joining us today. I'm going to talk about a couple of new and exciting features that we have to offer here at Vocita. Here's my contact information. Please don't be shy. Call, email me. You know, my line's always open. I always like to hear back from our customers or Medisoft and LITech customers regarding their overall experience with our application. So we're here to help in any which way that we can. So I want to briefly talk about our purpose. You know, our purpose is to connect providers and patients wherever and whenever. And the idea is to give, patients and providers a tool that will make the appointment process simple, convenient, and very user-friendly. So why Vocita? It was designed and created by a company you trust. Robert Gabriel, president and owner of MicroWise Technology. MicroWise has been around for quite some time now, and they're experts in the industry when it comes to medical billing, Medisoft, LITech, and other services within their portfolio. The application, the service is free for both patients and providers. It is the only integrated solution that works with Medisoft version 27, Network Professional, and LITech 2023. Part of our service offering, we do include free telemedicine for providers that want to connect with their patients virtually through the telehealth or telemedicine feature. We do offer that built in through Vocita. We also offer free appointment confirmation, which is another fantastic tool and a huge time-saving tool because it allows you to electronically verify upcoming appointments, and you can set up reminders and alerts and timing on when those messages go out. And I'll get into it in a little bit. And of course, lastly, it's a great marketing and revenue generating tool. Marketing because it allows your practice to attract new patients to your practice since you're offering online appointments, and it generates revenue in the sense that an appointment missed, it's lost revenue. If the patient doesn't show for a scheduled time, it's money that you're missing out on for that particular day. So before I dive into it, I just want to briefly say, as a mom working full time and someone that juggles multiple schedules, sometimes it's very difficult for me personally to stay on top of my medical appointments. So I personally use Vocita for scheduling visits for my daughter's follow-up appointments, medical visits. And it's a huge time-saving tool because essentially you can use Vocita anytime, anywhere from the convenience of your mobile phone, because we do have an app available, or from a desktop. So I personally use it, and I do recommend that people on this platform today go online and create a profile and start booking your appointments. Now, how does it work with Medisoft and LITech? So we have the ability to create or install an interface that allows us to link your calendar to Vocita.com. So as a provider, you'll have your own personal profile on Vocita, and I'll show you what that looks like next. And you have the ability to show open calendar availability. So if you can see on my screen over here, I have a screenshot of Medisoft. It's a little blurry, so I do apologize for that. And a screenshot of LITech. And any open slot through the interface that we set up will be available on Vocita.com. So patients, whether they're new patients to your practice or your existing patients, can go on your profile and book an appointment online. Now, essentially what happens is when appointments are booked through Vocita, that appointment will be updated in your Medisoft or LITech calendar. So we'll show the patient's first name, last name, and their contact number, which is in most cases their mobile number, which is what we typically require for that interface to work. Your patient experience, let me just go ahead and dive into that. So as a patient, you can go on Vocita.com. You can search for available appointments based on specialty, location, and insurance. So these are some of the options available on our website. Okay, once you put in, I'm going to just quickly demo my provider. Once you select a provider that you're looking to book, you have the ability to go on to the site and view the provider's dashboard. You can view their availability, search by location, search by virtual visits or online visits. Okay. Once you find the appointment that you're looking for, you can log in, select, and book. This is what the personal profile would look like on Vocita.com, which again, is just a demo. So it just gives you some quick information on the account, insurance companies they accept. You have the ability to click on view all and navigate the list. If there's any provider patient reviews, you'll have access to reading those online as well. Okay, so to book an appointment is simple as clicking book appointment, and you can search again in office or virtual visits and choose your location. So these are some of the providers that are on Vocita.com and using our services today. Then you can be very specific and navigate the database and choose the specialty, location, whether you want telemedicine, or in-office visit. So as a patient, if I select an available time, you have the ability to log in and schedule that visit with that provider. Okay, so as a patient, I've logged into my personal account. I now have the ability to complete that booking. It's pulling up my information. It already knows that I have United Healthcare as my insurance plan because it's part of my profile. I'm a new patient to this practice. I have the ability to change. It says, have you seen this provider before? Yes, no, you can change as you wish. If there's any special notes that you want to put on file, you can put that here. And when you select book an appointment, that appointment confirmation will be sent, that appointment booking will be completed. The provider will get an email with my appointment information. If you're using Medisoft or Lytec, that appointment slot will be booked on your practice management system. So it's pretty straightforward. It's pretty simple. The interface between Medisoft and Lytec really only takes about half an hour to set up. It's one time only, it runs in the background, and then the rest of the work is done through the interface. So a patient will book online through Vocita.com, and the appointments will be updated on your Medisoft or Lytec system. So we talked about the patient experience, in terms of how easy it is to go online and book an appointment. The next thing I wanted to briefly touch upon is your provider experience. So again, as a provider, once the appointment is booked, you're going to have that updated in your Medisoft. If you're going to use the application for telemedicine, you'll log into your account and access your appointment window screen, and you can start a telemedicine visit directly on your provider dashboard. Not going to take you through the process, but if you are interested in getting a one-on-one demo, feel free to call me or email me. My contact information, again, will be shared at the end of the demonstration. Let me just briefly talk about the provider appointments. So providers, that are using Medisoft or Lytec will have the patient's contact information available on the schedule. If they want more details, you can always log on to your provider account on Vocita.com, and you'll be able to reference the specifics, the demographic data. You'll even be able to get a copy of the patient's insurance card, which will be stored in your Vocita account. Lastly, what are the benefits of Vocita? It's, again, to create more revenue for the office by attracting new patients. You're also increasing your online marketing potential by using Vocita as a service. It allows you to stay open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And the idea is the convenience of having a patient go on their mobile device and booking an appointment anytime, anywhere. We also have the ability to link Vocita to your practice website. So a patient can go on your website, click on an option that says schedule now, and then it'll take them to Vocita.com and show your availability for the appointment booking. And of course, the system and the services are all free for Medisoft and Lytec customers. And that includes the interface along with the marketing. On the screen is my contact information. Please make a note of that. If you're interested in a one-on-one demonstration, feel free to call or email me and we can make arrangements. So Robert, I believe that's it for me today. I don't know if anyone else has any, concerns. If they wanted to share something on the chat, we're certainly welcome to answer that.
Well, thank you so much, everybody, for taking the time to join us today. Thank you for your business and have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Robert.
This is my contact information. If you have any follow-up questions, thank you.